20 years ago, the basic ideas of RecSys originated from the observation of social phenomena, social filtering. But today, maybe we need to go back to the roots. Again, observe life, people's daily activities and social interactions, the way man interacts with the world. Find new potential functionalities, internal system behaviors, and application for RecSys. What is my life? What is my life like? What is good for me? What is bad for me? It is very difficult to know that something will be good for me. And good is a bit vague. We might not enjoy that is good for us, such as exercise. We aim for things that are easy, but don't always know if they will be good for us in the long run. We need to have experience, but it is easy after experiencing it to know if something is good or bad for me. We always need to experiment with situations to better know them and want to repeat, stop, or modify them. In the year 200, Nokia went from hardware to services. They decided to no longer sell phones but services you can use with the phone. It changed everything. And then came Apple, who led the services further. But today, nearly 20 years after, there is a new gap. People want to experiment. What Niantic is selling with Pokemon Go is a new experience. People want experiences. Because we are like that, each of us, we is actually user experience centric. So must RecSys be user experience centric. We think they have to improve the experience of life of the users. When I say we, I speak in the name of all the authors of the paper Recommendation as the Lens of Life. This paper is the output of the Think Forward tank on the future of RecSys, which took place during the European Conference for Information Retrieval in 2016 in Padua, Italy. It represents the collective thoughts of a group of researchers thinking and discussing what the future of RecSys should be. The group consists of researchers with a spectrum of expertise from RecSys and information retrieval, from senior members of the RecSys community to fresh minds that have just begun their work in the field. The main idea that emerged during the workshop is this. Life itself is the original recommender system, presenting people with available options and providing information that will allow them to make the right decisions. And the person themselves is the query. Life is the best recommender system and the person is the query. We are all following our path on an highway. The highway of our social and genetic conditioning. That is our most probabilistic and more obvious future. But are we happy? Life gives us a massive amount of possibilities to follow. Which one is the best for me? We have to think about our own way. We have to take the little way, the way that is for us. not necessarily easy, but unique for us. One could foresee RecSys that mimic life, in the sense of its abundance and complexity of messages that can be interpreted as recommendation to the human senses. In this scenario, the user is the query, and life, with its infinite proposition, is providing a variety of recommendations. Most of the time, the answer presented is obvious and appears before our eyes. But sometimes, life presents the information differently. It produces a synchronicity, something that looks like pure coincidence but is not. Humans cannot attend to all the information contained in the world around them at once, as we are limited by our ability to pay attention only to a limited number of things. When you follow your intuition and take this course of action, you find yourself in a place where a synchronicity occurs, and you are given just the right amount of information and clarity that you need at that moment. By following our intuition, we objectively assess the underlying dynamics and intricacies that are hidden from our sense and our attention, but are nevertheless reflected in large amounts of data that can therefore be extracted by analytic means. RecSys could help users find the least probabilistic path to follow in order to attain a better life. RecSys could perhaps also present users with answers that are not superficial or immediate, but are of a deeper or hidden and of a more long-term type. Possibly the most important thing that life tells us about RecSys is that individual experiences, for instance of achievement or enjoyment, come together to form larger paths of meaningfulness. Whether we live in a deterministic or non-deterministic world, it often seems as if life knew the future, or at least what is best for us. In a way, these synchronicities shows us our best possible future. So instead of RecSys that only use information about the past, how about a recommender system that could, in a way, infer and thereby influence our future? Today's RecSys are not yet fully user-centric, though we think they ought to be user experience-centric. There are three areas to consider about RecSys: their relationship with the user, understanding humans and helping them understand themselves, and third, future-orientedness. In short, RecSys must form a more comprehensive and realistic picture of who their users are and in which direction their needs can unfold in different contexts. We believe that eventually, courses of action, intentions, emotions, ideas, and even other people could be the new item of future recommendations. In this sense, RecSys could inspire, guide, decide, assist, and much more in a completely unobtrusive way. RecSys may challenge us to have an open mind, to experience things we may not have experienced without suggestions, to be guided through experiences instead of simply being given what we want in the moment, to be challenged to be better and to grow. Man is the query. RecSys of the future must provide users with answers that not only make their lives easier, but also make their lives better. The paper is structured in three parts. First, the limitations and pitfalls of RecSys. Then the larger part, life as a recommender system. And at the end, what kind of recommenders could exist in the future. In French, there is only one word for like and love, aimer. But in slang language, there is kiffer, which is a super like. I want to kiffer life. Je kiffe. I want to have a nice experience. I'm user experience centric. I want a RecSys that helps me to kiff life. I want to meet great people. I want to be engaged. I want to be challenged and to grow. Joseph Campbell was a professor of history, specialist in myth. He helped Lucas to build the stories and characters of Star Wars. It's my hope that RecSys could help me. RecSys ought to help us follow our bliss.